So today we're starting with the no spin knife throw. Some people call this tactical knife throwing. It's quite a different skill than the full rotation throw. And by virtue of it, the way you practice can set you up for throwing almost any distance as you start to do instinctive throwing. We're going to cover quite a few things. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, so you know what? Let's get started. Okay, well, today we're going to do the no rotation throw, which when I started, that was kind of considered more advanced, but looking back, it might actually be not a bad way to learn for some folks. Reducing the variables, you can get your first sticks probably a bit easier with the no rotation throw. I've got some fairly simple knives here. They're a little longer, a little heavier than some of the other knives, but to start with, you want to find the balance point on the knife, and then that's where your finger's going to go. And there's a number of different grips. I've used this one is probably the one that I use the most, where you've got the balance point of the knife. That's where you put your finger. Thumb goes here, your fingers wrap around. That's one style. Another style is people will use their middle finger, so thumb here, grip like that. There's a Japanese style, which is like this. There's really, no right or wrong. It's sort of preference. For me, I started using this one, and a number of ways to get going, especially if you've got, if you're a bit nervous or you've got some trepidation. You can just kind of get started with get your chosen grip, and you can lay a log on the ground, and it's literally, some of us played this game when we were kids. So, basically getting the first sticks like that, so you get your balance point, get your grip, bang, get some confidence with the sticks, doing it flat. And then when you get a little more confidence after that, you can put one, at kind of 45 degrees. So here's a 45 degrees, same thing. Just get started like that, and just get the comfort level, and you just get that comfort level at 45, and then you can start working your way back. And in the throw, you're basically got your finger here, and you're throwing like this. You're letting it fly out of your hand. You're guiding it with that back finger, and depending on if you're hitting tip up, you're letting go of the knife too early. You've got to hold on to it and let go of it a bit later so that it's a bit straighter. If you're hitting, tip down, then you're holding on to it a bit too long. You got to let go a bit earlier so that it hits more straight. So again, just to start, you're And then you progressively move back as it's a bit of an exercise to move back just a little bit at a time. Start super close, and you might get the feel, get your 3 sticks, and then you go back a foot, and then you go back a bit more, and then just keep repeating that. It's a great exercise. Because you can sort of see the angles that you're hitting and adjust accordingly. So if we're hitting tip up, then we gotta let go a little earlier and give it a little bit of more finger pressure. So just keep moving back. Back up, basically a foot at a time. So again, just continuing to move back. So as you're taking your shots, you can look at the angles of the knives. And if you're getting them all parallel, it means you're throwing very consistently. If you start to get some slightly different angles there, that means you're not throwing consistently. So there you can see that last one I threw. Not quite enough finger pressure. Same with that one there. I'm tipped down. That one's better. I got better finger pressure. Similar to that one. Those ones are, see, they're landing tipped down, which means I'm not quite giving enough finger pressure, and I'm letting go a little bit too late. There was one there that was tip up, which maybe I gave a bit too much finger pressure. Stance. So really, it's a matter of preference. I'm a right-hand thrower. I put my right leg forward, bend my legs a bit. But some people do this. Some people take a step. Some people have right leg forward. It's really just what you're comfortable with and what you get used to with the stance. And then the throw, basically you're starting, back behind your head, bringing it through, and depending on the distance, if it's a far target away, that you'll have the knife leave your hand earlier. If it's closer, it leaves your hand later. You'll just do the refinement on that, and then with the finger brushing on the back side of the knife there. Yeah, this is a fun angle. This one's looking from below. But this next shot, this is the zombie view. This is what it looks like for a zombie to get a knife in the head. It's kind of a fun angle, but it's not without risk. You got to be, the camera's right in the center of the target here, so you've got to, practice a bit before you try that shot to not hit your $700 GoPro with a knife. Oh, here's side view. So first one was tip up, then tip down, then center. So I'm constantly adjusting as I'm throwing. I'm adjusting the timing of the release and also the finger pressure on the back of the knife. So there you go. That first one is tip up. That next one is pretty good. that last one is probably even better. So there's a tip up or a tip down slightly, so I got to get more finger pressure on there. So I'm struggling a bit there. But you get the idea. If you hit tip down, you've got to release a bit earlier and or give it a bit more finger pressure. So you can see in a couple of these slow motion shots, the knife leaves my hand still vertical, and then it begins its rotation. So that's part of the release. So here's another one in slow motion of that. You can see the knife leaving my hand, pointing almost straight up into the sky, and then it continues the rotation. So the further you go back, the earlier you have to release. There it is again. So that brings us to a wrap of the no rotation throw. And just quickly again, the key elements, get your comfortable stance. That'll depend on your comfort level. Your grip. The one I'm using here is this one. I'm summarizing, find the balance point, put my finger on the balance point, and then do the throw. And if I'm further away, I'm going to let go earlier and give a bit more pressure on my finger. If I'm closer, I'll let go later and maybe not even need any finger pressure. So that brings us to a wrap. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy, have fun with your knives. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more. See you next time. Trying to be careful I don't hit the camera.